Hello, my creative friends. I'm Heather North from heatherscreativeblessings.com. This week in the forums, one of the ladies was asking, what can you do with paper bags from the grocery store? I love paper bags. I use them to store my recyclables. I've used them to cover gift packages and books. Once they are used, they can go into the landfill and they just return back to the earth. So I think they're great. But one of the things I love when using them in crafting is that there is a little bit of texture in the paper, and there's also a little bit of you see little flecks of the wood in there. So I decided to make a card. I've done one on Stamp Nation, and I'll show you a little sneak peek at the end of this video, but I wanted to do one for you as well. So what I've done is I've taken some early espresso ink and a sentiment from the Perfect Blend stamp set from Stampin' Up, and I'm going to die cut it out using the coffee cup die set from Whimsy Stamps. While I'm at it, I think I'll die cut another cup out of this same paper. This die set comes with lots of cute little cutouts, including stars and hearts. I cut out the cup out of Very Vanilla, Crumb Cake, and the paper bag. I also cut some lids out of Whisper White cardstock, just so I had some options, and I really like that Very Vanilla, so I'm going to use it, but I'll use those other two on a different card. Cup assembly is very easy because these die cuts are just perfect. I'm going to use some Tombow Mono multi-glue and just glue my pieces together. I have here another scrap piece of paper bag that I've just cut down to size and crumpled up and wadded into a ball and opened up again, and then a piece of basic black cardstock. And I decided that I wanted this paper bag to be just a little bit smaller, so I'm putting it into my paper trimmer. Just like any paper, you can cut it with your paper trimmer, you can cut it with scissors. And I'm going to make this, I think it was 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And you'll see the very left-hand side, there's a little bit of crinkle or jaggedy edge. That was just the top of the bag, and I really liked it, so I decided to keep it. This piece of basic black cardstock, I'm going to cut down to 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Even after I cut that paper bag down, it seemed to have too much blank space. So I decided to use this heart border punch from Stampin' Up and just punch some of the hearts out. I don't know if I've even used this punch before. And it didn't go down as far as I would have liked. A die would have worked better. I think I could have placed it right where I wanted. But I decided, well, I'll just do the top and the bottom. And then I ended up really liking it. I thought it was pretty cute. And it goes along with the sentiment, coffee and friends are the perfect blend. I do love the shape of those little hearts, though. So now I'm just going to assemble my card by putting some snail adhesive on the back of the basic black cardstock and lining it up in the center of my crumb cake base. I just crinkled up this paper some more because I had kind of flattened it. And then I'm going to take some early espresso ink and a sponge and just sponge over that paper bag. And this will make the kind of the peaks of the paper stand out and just add another layer of texture and dimension. Now my early espresso ink is very dry, so I can go directly to my paper bag and not have a big splotch. But if you've got a newer ink pad or a juicier ink pad, be sure and just tap it off on your scrap paper before you go directly to your paper bag. There was a little tiny tear in my bag, and I decided to make it work for me by just kind of rolling both ends of it and make it look like I did that on purpose. I'm going to use Tombow Mono multi-adhesive to adhere this paper bag down to my black cardstock. It looks like a lot of glue, but really this bottle is almost empty and it's just a very fine line all over. I didn't want to saturate it with thick glue. And then I'm just pressing it down in a few places, leaving some of it coming up and bumpy and some of it flat, so that it doesn't come apart, but I don't want it to completely flatten out either. I'm going to use some dimensionals to adhere that coffee cup onto my paper bag. I'm using a lot of extra. Sometimes with paper bags you need the extra strong adhesive. That little bit of sponging makes all the difference in the world. So like I said earlier, this is a sneak peek of the card I made for Stamp Nation. If you're a Stamp Nation member, you can head on over there to see how I made this card. And I took some extra butterflies from that card that were just sitting on my table and added it to my coffee card. I think it was a great finishing touch. I hope that this has inspired you today to look at your paper bags in a new way and maybe put them on a card. Hope you find some time to get creative today. Bye!